boy, well, I hate to be one of those guys, but I told you so. I called it regarding the artificial karma. Remember that video from, I don't know, 2-3 months ago? Honestly, I just have to take this win. I have to. But anyway, welcome everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the review slash discussion for Boruto manga chapter 59. Of course, as per usual, after the live reaction, I do my reread through and actually get my thoughts a bit more, you know, packaged in a more concise container for you guys to take in instead of having to necessarily go back to the live stream and, you know, watch back the video. So I have the chapter here, scrolling back through. Usually I just, you know, try to recall things from memory and talk about it, but let's see if we can have a little casual discussion slash review session here regarding the chapter. Of course, welcome to the channel if you're new. Sanjay Uchiha, your friendly neighborhood Uchiha, so welcome. Leave a like, comment, let's have a discussion. But anyway, chapter 59, back to my initial thoughts. It was an okay plus chapter if you ask me. Of course, apart from the whole, you know, theory I had regarding like artificial karma coming true, that was good. But for the most part, it wasn't like a fire chapter to say the least, but it still had a nice touch of positive points, positive moments that really contributed towards the chapter's rating at least. So there's that. So going through the chapter here, of course, we did start with, you know, Code and Kawaki in Kawaki's dream sequence, and you know, going through this, it's nice to finally start. It's nice that we're finally starting to get a little more tidbits on Code. Of course, a lot of us are waiting on the Code flashback, but it's nice to see that we're actually getting something, even if it's just a dream. Obviously, something like this did actually happen more or less in Kawaki. When Kawaki was back with Kara. But in terms of what makes Kawaki special, as Code says, that is an interesting question I find, and I am looking forward to finding out more about Kawaki. Hopefully I mean, I think it was your dad in the stream, you were mentioning, you know, him potentially being a Senju. I don't know. But it'd be nice to see if, you know, getting more details on what makes somebody compatible with the Karma Seal. So that's nice. It's a little mini setup, or a little breadcrumb to get us more invested in seeing, you know, getting more details in Karma in itself and Kawaki by extension. So that was a nice point to say the least. Kid Code looks actually cool here, not gonna lie. Has this kind of Super Saiyan-ish vibe to me. I don't know, that idea just came to me. So yeah. Of course, we transition to Amado essentially suggesting to Kawaki that, yo, probably you should consider getting back Karma, if anything, because the upcoming fights with Code aren't going to be normal. Of course, I did appreciate Amado being the type of character he is, essentially assessing Kawaki's theory of, you know, implanting Boruto's karma and Code. But the good thing about it, like similar to us, the audience, there are just too many uncertain factors when it comes on to the Karma Seal. So of course, Amado does recommend Kawaki drop that plan and essentially just go along the route of obtaining more power, which kind of gave me some Sasuke Orochimaru kind of vibes in a more modernized way. So I found that to be very interesting as well, if I'm being quite honest. Now, of course, more so in conjunction with my theory with the artificial karma, it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Amado really pushes the idea that even though he's not the quote-unquote, you know, his life is not in danger of being taken over by Ishiki anymore, he's still a vessel in the sense that what they were implying is that he's still Otsutsufied essentially. So yeah, that's what Amado was essentially trying to get across with this chapter. And of course, it does kind of irritate Kawaki to say the least. Now, what I do love about this chapter in terms of this plot point pushing it towards Kawaki is that it's not as black and white as just, yo, we're trying to push this new power onto you. But of course, when it comes on to, I guess, an emotional and psychological relevance, it holds that type of weight with Kawaki in terms psychologically, mentally, emotionally, because this Karma Seal is something that he views as something that's been part of his enslavement, part of something that's kind of kept him down. But at the same time, I like the setup that they're going for because it's more nuanced than that. Because as we saw last chapter, subconsciously he's already thinking like, yo, maybe I was more dependent on karma, you know, more so than I thought. So that kind of gives rise to a nice emotional, psychological, a more nuanced internal conflict with Kawaki coming to that decision. It's that build up that I'm actually loving, that they're actually setting up, Kishimoto to be exact, when it comes on to Kawaki's character and him deciding if he's going to take the karma or not. And in the grand scheme of things, obviously it takes it due to the flash forward, but at the same time, I'm loving that we're taking our time to actually build up to it, present the emotional and psychological conflict within Kawaki regarding this decision that we, for the most part, know he's going to take. And it's actually interesting to see. So that's why I said the chapter, in the grand scheme of things, while it wasn't fire, there are some little tidbits, little setup pieces that I actually enjoy with this chapter, to say the least. So there's that. Of course, we do get more on Ida and Code when it comes on to their characters and their preparations to actually go to war with Naruto and friends. So there was that. I don't know how to feel about the new character Daemon, because alright, one thing at a time. Let me kind of just scroll through there. Of course, we see Ida. We get a little bit more on her character, in the sense that she obviously is going to want to try her best, everything in her power, to make sure Kawaki can like her, will like her. So of course it was interesting seeing her try to ask or bargain with Code, you know, can you probably spare the Hokage? And of course, as Anthony, as you were mentioning in the live stream, it's interesting that, you know, Code doesn't necessarily, you know, he doesn't even try to reason. He just say, yo, blank, no, I'm not gonna spare the Hokage. So you were suggesting that maybe strong emotions can overcome her ability to make persons fall in love. That's potentially it. But another way to look at it is that maybe, just to kind of argue your point, is that maybe even though persons do fall in love with her and they're inclined to follow her will, probably they still have a degree of freedom to make their own decisions. So there is that. I feel like I might lean towards that until further notice. So there's that for now. Of course, we do find out that Ida herself isn't much of a fighter. She says she only knows basic taijutsu, and apparently she hates fighting, so that's interesting. I was similar to Code in this chapter. I was thinking she could be an awesome fighter as well, but I guess that's an interesting way for Kishimoto to go against our expectations. So there is that. I mean, she's still busted with her Senrigan ability and all, so there's that. But eventually we do get introduced to one of her other knights, her little brother. Shit, the name is escaping me right now. God dang it. Dang. Let me just scroll down here. Daemon, right? Yeah, Daemon. But when I think about it, the name Daemon, within like information technology, isn't Daemon like alternative name to say like server or something? So thinking about it now, that's an interesting name choice, if I'm thinking about this right or remembering this right. So I guess that does align with the theme of technology. But the point is, yeah, we're introduced to Ida's little brother Daemon, and he's very interesting, very broken. We see that he has an ability where if he's up against somebody with killing intent, the end result of the scene that they picture in their mind is reflected on them, the end results, which is pretty busted if you ask me. And honestly, this team of 3 is going to be like trouble to actually deal with when they actually roll up in Konoha. So that's going to be something to say the least. Now, I also did enjoy the fact that we had Shikadai with Kawaki in this chapter, even though it was for just for a short moment. But I don't know, there was just something about that dynamic, just getting that introduced. Because the thing is, I've always complained in terms of the side characters and their purpose in the story. It's like, it's like water. Like it's just whatever, you know what I mean? So I think having Shikadai play that small role in this chapter could be the start of something. So I did appreciate that little tidbit in the chapter as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it could potentially go somewhere else. So yeah, of course we do finalize the chapter with, you know, Sumire confronting confronting Amado. And honestly, I just found the conversation funny, especially with the question that Amado asked Sumire at the end regarding, are you stupid or are you like smart? So there's that. And of course, as Anthony, you were saying in in the stream, is like Sumire is literally us, basically just questioning Amado at this point. And basically what I did enjoy about this section is that Amado continues or basically reiterates or breaks down the whole idea of the fact that Kawaki, he's been Otsutsufied, he's 80% Otsutsuki. And of course Amado compares Kawaki to like a house where, you know, Ishiki was the sole owner and Kawaki is the host. The karma seal was the door, but the door is no longer there, and Ishiki has died, but the house and all the stuff that's in it is actually still there, which basically aligns with what I was saying in my artificial karma video, in a sense, in a way, more or less, where I was saying that, yo, the fact that they're 80% Otsutsuki, the way I was approaching it is like this. They're 80% Otsutsuki, but based on the fight with Momoshiki or Borushiki in chapter 55, there wasn't any indication that just being 80% Otsutsuki or just having Otsutsuki DNA gave you a power boost. And because of that, I was saying that, yo, it's probably only going to be natural that some other way to tap into whatever power this Otsutsuki DNA could give you would be needed, hence an artificial karma. That's essentially what I was saying. Of course, I'll link back that video here in the description or as a card or at the end screen, whichever. So there was that. So that's essentially it, and that's basically what Amado was breaking down. Of course, with the whole idea that since Ishiki is dead, there's no real threat to there's nothing really to worry about. This is a karma that's going to be acting purely as a weapon, similar to the white karma, but not really a white karma. So there's that. But it kind of has me wondering though, like, is it going to be a case where if Amado reconstructs the karma, will it be that Kawaki will move from 80% to 100%? Will that happen, or will he stay 80%? With this new quote-unquote door to the house, can somebody else's soul potentially move in? Is there going to be a loophole or some miscalculation? There's so many questions that that still need to be, you know, answered. And I feel like in the grand scheme of things, Kishimoto right now realized that's the case, and he's essentially been putting a lot of characters, putting us the audience in a lot of characters' shoes in a sense, because as I said, of course Amado acknowledges the amount of the level of uncertainty with Kawaki's plan to implant karma onto code, and of course by the end here there's more questions than answers. So it's interesting, but it kind of ensures us as the audience keep invested in what's going to happen with the story going forward. Now, in terms of Amado and if he's really like going to be quote-unquote evil, or, you know, if he's just pulling Sumire's leg, like, you know, like if I were to like humor someone and say, yo fam, like if you had kept, you know, just kept your cool and did your thing, you could have got more information from me if that's what you were trying to do. But probably Amado's just, I don't know, giving her what she wants to hear, just playing the part of a villain, quote unquote, for the sake of this conversation. But who knows, it's still very sus, and no matter how you slice and dice it, Amado must have some ulterior motive. It might not be evil, but there's something more to it, obviously, for everybody to see, and I think most persons would agree with that. So there's that. But all in all, I thought this chapter was okay. It's okay plus. as I said, I do appreciate the setup when it comes on to Kawaki in terms of that emotional and psychological conflict when it comes on to getting a new karma seal, because one, he does subconsciously feel kind of useless without it, and at the same time we did have it established last chapter that he's rational and will do anything that's necessary to accomplish power to protect those he loves. We've already established that. But at the same time, it's been like a symbolic means of keeping him enslaved, and it's kind of a representation of everything that he hated about his previous living situation. So it's a very nuanced internal conflict that they've kind of started to showcase and build up to. Of course, more on the Ida and Code end with Daemon, the new character, broken ability, and Ting. I appreciate the Shikadai part. And for the most part, it does seem like everything is building towards some very interesting fights when it comes on to the Boruto manga going down the road. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll bring to the table in terms of choreography with these broken abilities, because at the same time, even with Daemon's abilities, there must be... This is what I was saying in the live stream, is that due to his ability, more than likely, it's going to give rise to some character or some ability or something where a person might just clear their mind, like Ultra Instinct or something. I can fight Daemon without you know, killing intent or picturing anything. Maybe something like that, who knows. So there's that. But all I'm saying, they're broken. But all I'm saying, the chapter is very nuanced and it has its positives, it has its plus. But I'm looking forward to what we got with chapter 60. As it seems right now, we might not be getting the time skip until further along than I predicted, because I was predicting this next chapter, but right now it seems it might be like an end of the year thing, if at best. So yeah, but anyway, I've rambled on long enough for this review discussion, not just your traditional review. So let me know what you guys thought. Of course, it's been a long day, so I might not do a bunch of editing on this just to get it out to you guys. So yeah, but anyway, Sanjay Uchiha, thanks for coming out. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next Boruto discussion. Check out that theory video I did a few months back as proof of my W. See you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.